and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Good evening.
Happy
New Year's Eve.
Are you really ready to say goodbye to 2020? I think I'm not done with it yet. I'm going to miss it.
I mean, there are years, we've all had remarkable years in our lives, Steve, and this has definitely been one that I will not remark on.
Oh.
So I'd never, because what was the year that was the year that all the celebrities died?
2016.
2016. And I was like, you can't blame a year for that. That's what I thought in 2016. But then again, 2016 was also Brexit and Trump getting elected, and then the celebrities dying, and now 2020, everyone's dying. I guess you can blame a year.
Yeah.
But is it going to change? Is it going to change tomorrow? We hope so. But welcome to the final episode of Comic Solving Problems.
Yeah.
In 2020, I should add that to that caveat, not just the final episode ever, because obviously we started the show in quarantine and we're ending it in quarantine. But we're not rebranding again.
Because it takes too much effort to change the pissy little logos.
Oh God, that was a hassle. There's still one of the logos on my YouTube channel. I still haven't changed it yet. Anyway, so yes, this is a show where normally comics solve problems. We spent the last 9 months since April when we started the show through 70 odd episodes, solving all of the problems that are there in the world, and we can say without any question that we haven't really improved anything, but hopefully we've made you smile at times. So we thought today, with the last show of the year, that we would have a look back at some of our favorite stories. And as always, before we get too far, please subscribe to the channel. If you're enjoying what we've done or what we have done in the past, you can buy us a drink. Obviously not in person because, get away from me. You're riddled with disease. But in general, in a virtual sense, you can buy us a drink, and we appreciate that. And we like people watching. But yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything. But we thought we'd look back at some of our favorite stories.
Yeah.
I think you go first, Steve.
Sure?
I would like to.
Look, I totally wish to agree with everything Eric said. Thank you. Send some money at the bottom. And also the reason we're not going to meet anyone, even though this is effectively our New Year's Eve party, but you can't meet people. In fact, it wasn't that long ago that Nicola Sturgeon said that if you are meeting up with anyone over the festive period, that you should act as if you have coronavirus.
Yeah.
So over Christmas, I spent all that time coughing, pretending to be way too hot, and then requesting a ventilator. So maybe I misunderstood. But that's why this is our virtual party. So hopefully, look, crack open a drink while we talk about some of our favourite stories. Yeah. Hopefully it's enjoyable. Also, as a little side note, halfway through the series, I managed to work out that my dark jacket's blended in too much with my chair. And I didn't realise if I'm wearing this one, same flipping problem. I changed the colour on the chair, and now I've got the same... All right, get me.
Disappeared. Double shoulders.
So one of the things I just like, we've covered loads of stories, and one that I'd forgotten, so I thought I'd bring it up here. Do you remember when people were like tipping over statues?
Oh my days, that was so cool.
Yeah, and actually we can do an update now, because back then, if you go and find episode flipping 15 or whatever it was, it was down in Bristol. Someone knocked over a statue, tipped it in the drink. Someone's been charged over that now. My theory back then was like, what difference is it going to make? Why charge people? I suppose someone needs to be arrested or cautioned for it or something. I thought people should have been charged for littering, because I'm all in favour of knocking down statues we don't like. I'm not in favour of littering. No. Bad. But it was interesting times. And I think it's really interesting that if you could name any statues, then maybe that statue shouldn't be knocked down. Because honestly, most of these people who've had statues made to them, I have no flipping clue who they are, and my life will not be altered if we get rid of people who just, you were lucky and got born into the right family.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the statue is I can see why they dumped it in the river and did other things with them and didn't know what to do with them. And you say that, they were throwing them away, but which bin do they go in?
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, you'd have to know the metallurgy of the statue. Is it bronze? Is it copper? Where does that go?
That is difficult. Yeah. Can't be just normal recycling.
Gotta sympathize. And you're in the heat of a riot. It's very difficult to make those kind of decisions, and you don't want to be... I mean, these are usually probably environmentalists as well, so they're going to care that they go in the right bin.
But they should have cared that they were chucking a big lump of metal into the canal. Because that's going to be, if it's, well, there's a chance that it had heavy metals in it. That's not going to be good for anyone drinking or fishing in it or whatever the hell.
Definitely had asbestos.
But yeah,
no question.
It never burnt down, so probably.
Yeah.
I would say the only statue that shouldn't be knocked down, because in general I don't care about statues. I'm not a statue fan. Who gives?
That's my goal at the end of all this. I want a statue of us.
But then just make one. That's the thing. It's all about who has enough money to buy yourself the status to have a statue. And most of the names of the people who have statues I don't care about. Other than it is true to say, Eric Morecambe has a statue in the town of Morecambe. Yep. Leave that one alone. Because that was a working class. You know what I'm like. That's a working class bloke. If it's a working class person who managed to get a statue about them, we'll keep it. Posh people, they had enough going on.
Yeah, and he's named Eric.
So you like it?
Just saying.
Yeah, and he changed his name to Morecambe, his stage name, because of Morecambe, so they like it.
Yeah,
beautiful.
So, I'd say one of my favorite running things that we had through the show. That was more season 1 than series 2, or season.
Carefully, because if you get it wrong, you'll half say Siri, and your phone is going to wake up.
Was the American tea lady who finally taught British people how to make a proper cup of tea.
Look, there are many things wrong with TikTok. It's potentially giving information to the Chinese government. There's issues about whether young people are getting access to it. But I think the worst thing is that woman ruining the British cup of tea. How dare she?
What? How did she ruin it? She taught you how to use a microwave properly.
A microwave.
Why are you using these kettles?
She used the microwave.
Why are you using a kettle? We don't use kettles in America.
Yeah, but you do use guns. I don't know how you think you're winning an argument with any of these points.
That is another way to heat up the water.
Which is, it's the opposite, because you get the gun out and go, freeze! Oh. But it's a joke. Look at that. We're only 9 minutes in. We did a joke.
Did a joke.
No, because she was saying a spoonful of tang. No, that's not in tea. No.
I mean, it was glorious. And she did some food, didn't she? What else did she do?
She did. Did she ruin a
cheese on toast or something? No, beans and
British style.
Eggs British. Did she do beans on toast or something? But she microwaved the. She didn't make toast first.
She microwaved the bread. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'll be honest. Even for me, that was a step too far.
And yet she's bigger than either of us on TikTok.
Yep, but she doesn't have the wonderful listeners and followers and viewers that we do, who love to support us so much. There you go. So that was one of my favorite stories of the year. That was definitely a benefit of lockdown, was encountering her. Did you have any other? What else?
My second one is a double whammy, because it's a mixture of two different stories, but effectively the same story. Okay. Dominic Cummings, Kay Burley. This originally Dominic Cummings, we're all told lockdown, don't go anywhere, whatever you do, don't go anywhere, and he's like, in fact I can try if I put my head nearer the camera and my body further away, so it looks like I've got a huge head. Oh, is that right? No, that's well, he's not Scottish, he's Geordie. Why, I bet I'm gonna go and have a little drive to Barnard Castle, you know.
He didn't sound like that.
No, he didn't. But so he just went for a drive. He got caught doing it. Instead of doing the obvious thing, I do apologise for any distress or upset that I caused, and I made a mistake. And then you can get to keep your job or whatever. He kept his job by just thumbing his nose at the British people by, for some reason, having a fold-out table a little fold-out chair, fold-out table, as if he was going to start selling weak orange drink on some summer fete, and just refused to apologise at his very late press conference. Why was it late? Because he probably went via Barnard Castle, the bastard. And the reason I grouped them together, it's exactly the same story twice. That it's something that makes you think, well, if they're not sticking to the rules, why should I? And that's the problem. We live in a media-obsessed world, and there is such great power at both either Dominic Cummings being good at understanding the media or Kay Burley being on the media. But with great power comes great responsibility. And that means that you are, if you mess up, if you're not a role model, but if your story can get out to people, they're going to think, oh, well, if Kay Burley gets to have loads of people around for a 60th birthday, why I pet? Why can't I? Dominic Cummings.
Just like that. Have you felt the pressure of it, not just from our celebrity status on this show, but also because, I mean, 2020, you did get to do a series of the BBC to the MASH report. You were on national television during a lockdown, which was pretty irritating as your comedy friend and partner.
To be even more irritating, I'll say you can read all about what it was like being on TV during the lockdown in my new book, Lasted Another Year Despite a Pandemic, available now at all good retailers if you think all good retailers are just Amazon Kindle. But search for that on there. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, and I think comedians don't have as much pressure because we mock more than we are the example. But no, I stuck to the rules, and sometimes some of the jokes that we did, because we've been fortunate that like, some of the little bits we've done on comic solving problems have gone oddly viral. They're kind of meme things that people send to each other. Yeah. And some of them have been misinterpreted. So some of the clips we've done, because we take a half-hour show, take a clip out of it, post it on social media. Some people thought we were anti-mask for one of them. Do you remember?
Because we were very mask heavy, especially in the beginning when it was happening. We had the mask that would light up with the cock and balls. Yeah. You had the mask you could eat through. Yeah. You had the mask of your underpants. We had me when I put nylons on, because that's really the most efficient way to keep the virus out, is to wear a pair of pantyhose and then put a mask on. Just wash them first.
Or not.
I mean, we're not.
Yeah. We were very pro-mask. But the clip where I was singing along, because Bryan Adams had said something, he was annoyed. He'd posted on Instagram that he was annoyed that his tour had been cancelled. So I got the guitar out for the first time in 10 years and played like Ding Ding Summer of '69. Posted that as a clip. And some people were saying like, yeah, that's right, we shouldn't be locking down. Hey, no, what? Hey, what? that wasn't the point of that. So yeah, sometimes anti-maskers, anti-lockdowners have taken our clips and run with them. And I felt bad there, as people have been commenting, kind of like, yeah, this government are trying to pull a fast one, free the pubs. I'm like, oh, that's not what I mean. Ugh. Awkward.
I think, obviously, another big theme that we talked about throughout the show and have enjoyed or not enjoyed is all of the lockdown rules. Yeah. And I mean, what's great about all the lockdown rules is nobody understands the lockdown rules. And I talk to my family in America. They're all under different levels of lockdown in different states. Just recently, near where I live, where we've gone under Tier 4 in England, where you're basically you can only interact with one person from another household outside in public if you're both wearing red jackets. I think that's the rule. But there were clearly, when you see people walking in the park, there's clearly households mixing, unless a household is like 6 couples and they're all swingers or something. But there's just no way that they're not from the same household. And I saw these 2 couples coming towards each other, and I noticed that they were masking up. And even though we were outdoors, I thought, wow. These are people who are really, they're kind of cheating a little bit by interacting with each other as couples from different households. So, whatever. But they're masking up. So they're taking that extra bit of precaution. And then they were like, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. And then after they put the masks on, the 2 women in the couples hugged each other.
Oh, it annoys me so much.
And that's when I realized that we're going to be in Tier 5 really soon.
Yeah. I've said this on the show, I've said this on stage, this is an extrovert's disease. All of you social butterflies, you life and souls of the parties, you're also now known as a vector. You're causing death. Rein it in. It's not all about you. So these people are like, oh, what, not hug? Yes, not hug. It's this is the core of what we're dealing with. Every time the numbers go up, the only way you're catching COVID is from a person, so people must be at fault.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Hey.
Truth bomb.
You're talking to the guy that when he gets a drink in a public place will be happy to wipe it down with hand sanitizer before he takes a drink. Nice.
Just because to get the extra alcohol in there, don't you? Pour a little bit in.
I did that before.
Little aloe vera chaser in there.
70%. Who knows?
Just takes the edge off the thing.
Oh, it's so good. Can't afford a pint, but I can afford some hand gel. Can I? Just saying.
I know what you mean about seeing people who pretend to be in a group and then you overhear them going like, anyway, take care, see you. No, at least commit to the lie. If you're going to pretend you're in the same household, you don't get to do a goodbye at the end of that meeting.
One of the few live gigs I got to do was right on the Friday we were at the point where you could be with other households. It was in September when we had that weird window of open. And then on the Saturday, they said you can't mix households. And And so it was the first day of no households mixing, and the compere said to two couples in the front, two grown adult people that clearly don't live in the same household, said to the first guy in the group, "So where are you guys from?" And the guy goes, "Stevenage." So then he turns to the other couple, says, "Where are you from?" Now clearly they should say Stevenage. He goes, "Croydon." Like, no, you just biffed it. Just like this is.
Yeah. If you're gonna lie, at least be good at lying.
Just be good at lying.
People,
if you were better at lying, you would have never caught that virus. And now I'm not talking about COVID anymore. I'm talking about something that happened when I was in college.
Yeah, good stuff. Another story because we're doing our end of year, put money in the pot, doing our end of year, just thinking about stories we've enjoyed talking about during the year of doing shows. Four words that, again, another story that I'd forgotten we'd covered. Gone with the Wind. Remember that one?
Oh, God.
So
vaguely.
Gone with the Wind was taken off of a streaming network because it was problematic.
Yes, of course.
And again, if you go back and look at the clips, I edited myself into Gone with the Wind. And this was early on. This was series 1. So my ability to do... There was no green screen. I didn't know what green screen was. So I literally... I literally took a picture of the back of my head and just cut out the shape of me and made it a transparent picture because I couldn't do green screen, but I could put that in there. But this was about, it being problematic. So streaming services took it down until they could put up a little warning label saying, trigger warning, there's going to be racist stuff in it. And then have other things. And, I think we both ended up talking about that on radio because of some of the radio work we do.
Yeah.
And it's actually, now I look back, it's becoming harder to really excuse. Like, either ban it because something shouldn't be seen, or just put it on and presume that we're grown-ups. But the idea of putting up like a warning saying, there might be some troubling issues, I was totally defending on radio for weeks, for months, and then The Crown happened. Some people got upset that it wasn't realistic, and the same people who were saying you definitely have to have a content warning about Gone with the Wind. No, you don't need to say that The Crown isn't entirely true. It's like, pick a side. I hate it when there's hypocrisy, and I ended up being one of those people, saying, you should definitely put a label on Gone with the Wind, and then thinking, well... it's a drama, The Crown. We shouldn't have to... Actually, they should put warning signs. If anyone wants a warning sign, put it on there. Put one on The Crown, knock yourself out. Have a good time.
So would the warning sign on The Crown be that you should still love your children even if they're alleged to have been involved in sex trafficking?
The nonce clause. Interesting. Yeah, nonce
I
warning.
love that Tim Allen film. It's a good film.
Could you imagine? How are we not making that as a spin-off for YouTube? Come and sit on my... Leave it, you nonce clause.
2021 coming to it'll be a live streaming service because we still won't be in cinemas by 2021.
Have you seen Tenet? Did you get around to watching that?
No, I have not yet seen it.
All right, so that was the first film, the first cinema that was released in... No, the first film that was released in cinemas after the lockdown was Tenet. Yeah. I'd say watch it because no wonder cinemas have failed. The one chance they had to not show us a pile of shit, and they put that on there. It is
wow. You don't normally swear on this show, so that's the most film. Passionate I've seen you this year.
Because it's a waste of my time watching that film. And I will watch bad films and at least enjoy. I mean,
you gotta love bad films.
It's filmed nicely. Every shot is beautifully put together. I can appreciate the direction. The story is just absolute pony.
Absolute pony. Never heard that phrase before.
You must have. You lived in the south of England.
20 years, UK.
Absolute pony, mate. Pony and crap, Cockney rhyme.
That's what I love about living here. These little undiscovered gems.
Yeah.
2020, you know what? It's been a good year.
Looking back, what's really gone that badly? It's been good times. So yeah, that was good. Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I've enjoyed this year. I have to say, you talked about, putting yourself in the clip for Gone with the Wind. I think one of the highlights of the year, when I think about COVID, I think about Trump, I think about, the Brexit period ending and all that. I think watching you get creepier and creepier in the little video montages you do has been a real highlight for me.
Yeah. It was never the intention when we set out to do
I would
these.
hope it wasn't the intention, because if you did, you're a sick puppy.
I don't know how
that
it
was
ended up
never
like
the pony. Was it the pony? How do I say that phrase? You never got yourself a pony? I missed.
I think you have to use it in place of the word crap.
Oh, right. That was really pony.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
It was, yeah, because we started out just doing live shows like these ones, these special Christmas ones. It's just us talking. We've not filmed stuff for it because it's flipping Christmas. Give us a break. Or New Year now.
Still give us a donation, but give us a break as well.
But yeah, just because we had in the first lockdown, couldn't leave the flat, but had a phone, so just filmed loads of stuff, and then just got more and more into it. And I had no idea about how to film anything or edit anything, and now I've been doing this for so long. There are so many sketches where I'm acting with a video of myself, which is not as easy as it always looks, because we have seen people try and do a similar thing on various other things on the internet. No names, no pack drill, but we've seen people balls it up, because all it takes is to get one of the lines of the sketch wrong, and you are doing a sketch where the character is answering a question that you're about to ask. And
that's why all the sketches I've put on the show have always been pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Because I know myself. I know my skills.
Yeah.
Just saying.
There's a Fry and Laurie sketch where they deliberately do that in a sketch where one of them gets one line ahead and it starts to be weird, like the hedge sketch, I think it's called. But they're doing it deliberately. Whereas if you try and do these acting with yourself sketches and it happens, you're just screwed. What can you do?
Yeah. Just screwed.
I'm glad you've enjoyed me getting... Maybe you're being a little bit gender phobic there. The only reason that you're finding them creepy is that towards the later part of Series 2, I was playing more women.
No, you as an alien was weird. 7 of you was weird.
Female alien.
All of it has been weird. It's been weird.
7 of me wasn't weird.
You microwaved some shit, I believe.
Yeah.
There was a genuine point where my wife and I discussed the fact that you might not be well.
I'm definitely not well. This has been a terrible year. It's taken its toll and I can feel it every day. But filmed a lot of it.
You filmed a lot of it.
And the bits I didn't film, I wrote about in my new book. Lasted another year despite a pandemic.
You know, I started a podcast as well, but I don't go on about it.
Yeah, plug it. You might as well. It's the end of the year.
I think I can't. I lost track of time.
We've got we'll do another 5 minutes worth of stuff. Just about. The other thing I'd written down. Well, we can pick between the other ones that I thought were worthy of a mention. Was when we thought Woolworths was coming back, but it wasn't. Oh my God, that hurt. I mean, there was a lot of pain this year, but when there was a tweet saying Woolworths was coming back, it was like, yeah, and it turned out to be a lie. Not in 2020. Not now. We've been through too much.
Meaningless to me.
Really?
Something. Woolworths.
You got any others on your list? I've got 2 more to.
Not from that era. I think we did get to talk about your good friend and mine, Kim Jong-un, this year. Yeah. Well, I mean, less this year because I guess he faded away because he wasn't meeting with Trump on a daily basis. So, because of all the shows we've done over the last 10 years, he's somebody that's been special to both of our hearts. Yeah. And we've talked about him, worried that he would remove our hearts. But, well, I hope he's had a good year.
What was the thing I used to do on the Edinburgh show, but not even the most recent Edinburgh show, when there was a threat that North Korea was planning a 9/11 style attack on a cinema because I can't remember why. But it almost doesn't matter.
It was the movie with Seth Rogen.
Yes. And I remember doing some sort of material about it was never going to happen because it's too difficult. Like, cinemas aren't as tall as big tower blocks.
Yeah.
There'd be no way to land like if you were off by a few angles, you just flew over a cinema, which
or crashed into a pet store.
Yeah, you just missed. Like, what's Kim Jong-un got against pets? My God, what have they done to upset him? So there was all that. Another bit of story. There's 2 to pick from here. Just the NHS app. It's not even that funny because it's just a serious one. I was going back through the other episodes that we did, and it reminded me that we were promised track and trace so many times we talked about it, and it's still the failure that's baked into the cake. That's why nothing's working. It's because we don't have a proper track and trace, but now we just take it as the normal background. Like, yeah, of course we don't have a track and trace that works. Look at the crap that we're dealing with now.
Well, I mean, I have the app on my phone, but I'm not going to turn it on in case it tells me that I've been around somebody sick. Okay. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. Good. Okay. That explains a lot.
I also hug people when I'm wearing a mask.
I love how they tested it out on the Isle of Wight, and you think that's good of them because they probably had to install the internet there first.
Yep. Hey, say what you like about the Isle of Wight, it's still in tier 1.
Is it?
Or tier 2. I mean, they're one of the only places you can go. You can be that you can't go there, but I mean,
they wouldn't.
It's almost like being an island is an advantage in a pandemic.
It should have been.
Only. I'm going to move to an island.
Isle of Sheppey, still available. People like that. Only one road on and off. A couple of minutes left. The only other one I was going to mention is Dolly Parton, Save the World. She funded the... that was one of the creepy ones, actually. That was one of the big creepy ones when I did a Dolly Parton song.
Dolly Parton is a saint. There's no question. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman.
And what's that quote from The Office where he says, you can't have the rainbow unless you have the rain? Dolly Parton, that. So she's a bit of a philosopher. And a lot of people thought she was just a big pair of tits. So I think the same quote really works now. Dolly Parton funded The Cure. A lot of people thought she was a big pair of tits.
She always loved their music.
We did that in a sketch as well. Do you remember the Russian one where they hacked in and downloaded The Cure?
Yeah, it was there. It's all there, guys. You can watch all. So what people should be doing is they bring in 2021 is going back to the very first episode of back then comics in quarantine solving problems and just binge watch all of them, including the 4 hours we did for election night.
It's truth. What a year it's been. So look, I think we've got like a minute left. Let's just say thank you for all of the watching, if you've done any of it, for sharing the clips, for chucking money in the pot, which has been very much appreciated. It's kept this going.
Yeah.
Should we do another year of it?
Well, we're going to be in lockdown still. So what else have we got to do?
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get yourself subscribed to the main YouTube channel and watch more of these shows in the new year. Yeah. Good riddance to 2020.
Hope that you'll be there as well. But yeah, nothing less, I guess, to say but Happy New Year.
Till then. Bye.
Bye.